Okay po. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you very much for this night that we gathered tonight for our review for the upcoming environmental planner exam. Bless us, O Lord, with knowledge and wisdom that we may be able to understand the lecture tonight, and bless Ma'am Maria for her lecture that he could explain efficiently to us and we could understand it heartily. Lord, thank you and bless us. All this I ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay. So, saan na ba tayo nag-end? Let me just check on that slide again. Hopefully, we can finish tonight's. Here. Let's check that. So, we need to do some tools here, no? To complete the picture on local economic development planning. So we have LQ, location quotient or LQ, economic base analysis, then shift share, index of concentration, siguro i-ano natin to. We can proceed with scaleogram and then centrality index. Okay. Yeah, can you linger for a while? Paki-check lang or kung nabasa na ninyo. So, it would be easier for me to go over it.
Here is this solution of A, subsector barangay A, subdivision A, house sector barangay X, municipal city 1, city 1.
Okay. So we have an equation, diba? So that's an equation wherein we need to determine location quotient. So yung location quotient kasi is a way of comparing the importance of a sector in your LGU with its importance in a larger reference area. So we are comparing your LGU compared with the parent LGU. So if we try to analyze a barangay, then the parent LGU is municipality or city. Then if we try to analyze city or municipal or the municipality, then the parent LGU is the province. Diba? Parang ganon. Kapag province naman, so we have region, then region to parang ganon. So that's when we talk about export, we're not just talking about exporting from Philippines to another, but we can also talk about it through as simple as barangay, okay? And so we're talking about ito numerator and then yung denominator. So ibig sabihin yung parent LGU becomes the larger reference area when we try to analyze the smaller one. So for example, 30% of employment in Marilao, so I'm talking about Marilao, is in manufacturing, but only 10% of employment in the region or province is in manufacturing. So kapag lalabas yon 30 and 10%, so magkakaroon tayo ng LQ equals 3. It tells us that Marilao is 3 times more specialized in manufacturing than the parent LGU. So sectors with high LQs are considered basic. So magkaiba kasi yung literally the basic, but in this context, basic means export-oriented. Okay? Export. So we talk about export-oriented. Magkaiba, no? So, kalimutan muna natin yung basic na parang pinaka-lowest. But this is something in this context sa LQ. It means export-oriented. It means we are experiencing surplus. So, it's not parang it is sufficient enough for the locality plus may sobra, and we are referring to the surplus, and the surplus means we can talk about it as export. Okay. And then it also means that it is also specializing. So these are the terminologies. So ibig sabihin, they bring money into the locality and often become the focus of local economic development strategies. So meron din tayo, later we also talk about economic-based analysis. So yung pangalawa, we're still here sa LQ. Okay. For this particular slide, barangay, we are talking about barangay as the one that we are analyzing. And so, ano yung i-compare natin sa municipality? Okay? So we have this formula, LQ equals employment. Nakita ninyo to, summation of E subsector means that barangay X, for example, barangay X, this is the employment in a given subsector. In this particular example, economic activity in a certain barangay. Now, this one is all sectors. So, may total tayo. Meron din total yung subsector. We are talking also of the same barangay X. So, dapat yung numerator ninyo, we are referring to just one LGU. Okay? So, this is the employment in all economic sectors in a given barangay. So, ayan. So, all divided all over by summation of or employment in a given subsector, but still that particular economic activity in a municipality kasi yun yung ating parent LGU. And then divided by that variable then on the municipality, but all sectors. So napapansin niyo subsector divided by all sectors, subsector divided by all sectors. Ang magkakaiba lang is okay, let me clean. Kakaiba niya is barangay dito, and then yung denominator is municipality. Okay. So LQ here is this is the industry. Industry is considered a regional. Kapag makakuha tayo ng LQ equals or greater than 1, ibig sabihin, industry is considered a regional export industry or higher than that. Basta export industry. So, ibig sabihin, the given area is exporting. But if you get LQ less than 1, it means industry is considered importing, no? Importing. The given area is importing. And if it is equal to 1, industry is considered a local service industry. Sabihin, it's enough, it's adequate to, you're not importing, you're not also exporting. So the basic idea is simple. We want to know whether a particular industry is more important. So we use the word important or less important or equally important in barangay X here, in this case, compared with the whole municipality. So we do that by comparing shares, okay, not the raw numbers. So in the numerator, we take the share of a subsector in barangay X. So we add up employment in that industry in barangay X and then divide it by the total employment in all sectors in barangay. Later, magkaroon tayo ng data, okay? So that tells us for that barangay, what fraction of all jobs are in this industry. In the denominator, we do exactly the same thing, but at the municipality or city level, we get employment. In the same subsector, if for example, what we are trying to look or what we are trying to analyze is manufacturing, kunin mo din yung manufacturing doon sa city. Okay? Kasi you cannot compare. It should be apple to apple. Okay? So, we get the same employment in the same subsector for the whole municipality and divide it by the total municipal employment in all sectors. So, manufacturing divided by all sectors. And that gives us the municipality's overall share of jobs in that industry. So when we divide barangay share by the municipal share, ito yan, by the barangay share divided by the municipal share, we get the location quotient. So, yeah, we can also, meron bang sample data? Let me check. Okay. Ulitin natin. Okay. So, location quotient by barangay and economic activity. So, ito yung mga barangay natin, Abangan Norte, Abangan Sur, Ibayo, Lambakin, Lias, Loma, Ilagbalon, Patubig. Okay. So, but this is data in 2005. So location quotient by barangay and economic activity, and we have these economic activities. But under the primary sector, and then we have this secondary sector and tertiary sector. Okay. So what do we do? You can treat so it's a table, it's a map of specializations by barangay. So we talk about the specialization. Note the terminologies that we are using here. So the yellow cells there, kita mo yung yellow, okay. The yellow cells there are the sectors where the location quotient is greater than 1. So here we are not solving location quotient kasi ano na siya eh, these are all LQs. These values are all LQs. So na-solve na. Later isa-solve natin yan. But in this particular slide, yan na yung listed yan na given na yung LQ. So all those, if you notice, all those that are greater than 1 were marked yellow, no? So na-highlight 1.55, 1.45, 1.57. Yung mga hindi, of course, white pa din siya. So, meaning, greater than 1 meaning the barangay has a higher share of employment in that specific activity than Marilao as a whole, because the parent LGU is the municipality, because barangay itong given. Okay? And those are the barangay's strong points or export type activities. And you can start by reminding, you can, when you are analyzing, okay, fishing, for example, in Abangan Norte with LQ 1.55, okay. That means the share of fishing jobs in Abangan Norte is 55% higher than the municipal average share of fishing jobs. So, Abangan Norte is more specialized in fishing than the typical barangay in Marilao. Kasi siya yung highest dito sa fishing di ba? 1.45, 0.94, 0.99, 0.26, meron pala. Mas mataas. Pero mataas din yung Abangan Norte. Okay. Then, so you can check all the rest. For example, agriculture. So which one is the highest? So mayroong patubig, no? Patubig which is the highest. So it means that the strongest in that agriculture, agricultural subsector is patubig, barangay patubig. And then for the secondary sector, you can also check, right? Kita mo yung pinaka-highest now. Even in tertiary. And then community, social, lahat yan, finance, etc. And what are the most striking results? Let's check. Sige. Yung parang halos lahat, ano? Here, yung pinakamadami ang yellow, di yun siguro yung pinaka-striking. Because all are mostly LQ is more than one. Like in ano yung barangay na pinakamadami ang yellow. So let's see. So you can check anyway, no? So I'm just showing you that in the presentation here, ito na yung LQ. So it's up to you. Kung nabasa na ninyo ito, you can already bilangin lang yung pinakamadaming yellow for each barangay. Like, yun yung strongest sectors nila. So, for Abangan Norte, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mataas. 7 yung Ibayo. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mataas din ito. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, Ibayo in Ilagbalon, I think. Kung hindi ako nagkamali. So, yun yung tigsa 7 yung ano nila. LQ, they obtained LQ is more than 1. Okay. In this next slide, we need to, ito na-compute na, no? Na-compute na yung LQ. But this one is specific. Okay. Marilao, ito yung i-analyze natin, di ba? Ito kasi barangay. Barangay ito. But here, we are looking or we are comparing Marilao as against Bulacan. Okay. Now, how it has performed in those subsectors. So, yun yung gagawin natin, that it shows employment in each economic sector like Marilao and Bulacan and the corresponding LQ. So the LQ tells us whether a sector is more important, less important, or equally important in Marilao compared with Bulacan as a whole. So you remember yung yung LQ is greater than 1 or LQ equals 1, LQ is less than 1. So you already know the meaning. So in the primary sector, for example, if data is 576, and then compared with 91,000, so medyo malayo, no? So 0.17. Parent is higher. But in the next one is 8,144. We obtained 1.5. So it means that when we compare that, it's more than 1. So what do we mean by more than 1? It is exporting, yung Marilao. And then here, it's less than 1. So, tatlo lang yung kanya. So, let's check. Let's clean again. So, there are 3 strong subsectors, 1, 2, and 3. So dalawa yung tertiary sector that it's performing well. And then so at the provincial scale, this profile tells us that Marilao is not an agricultural municipality, and its key strengths lie in manufacturing and trade, with services playing a supportive role. And these sectors are the likely drivers of income, jobs, and municipal revenues. On the other hand, Marilao is dependent on other Bulacan LGUs for agricultural products, some sa construction also, no? It's not performing well. So, ibig sabihin sa iba siya nagde-depend. And then quarry also, mining and quarrying 0.70. And then electricity, gas, and water is 0.30. Now, so it has its it has for the CLUP and the CDP, that means that there's a need to protect and rationalize industrial and commercial zones because they reflect Marilao's comparative advantage. So we're talking about comparative advantage, especially when we obtain more than one as LQ. So we also need to support in this particular data. The CLUP and CDP should reflect that there's a need to support infrastructure to allow manufacturing and trade to grow without degrading livability. And then there should also be a need to coordinate with neighboring LGUs and the province for food supply, raw materials, utilities, since these sectors are not Marilao's strong suit. Now, so we can move to the next one. Okay, this is another topic because magkaiba na yung goal dito, no? That for economic-based analysis, nakalagay, it gauges the impact of total employment on the local economy of a given area. So we go deeper into the analysis because this one we are just computing our LQ. Now we need that data from the LQ before you can really we can really go deeper into economic based multiplier, because the economic based multiplier compares total jobs in the locality with the number of basic jobs, that is jobs in sectors that both have LQ is greater than 1, meaning, di ba, LQ is greater than 1, meaning they are specialized or export-oriented. So we're talking about basic jobs. That means we are exporting. Now, for multiplier, total employment divided by basic employment, where basic employment equals total of employment in economic activities with LQ greater than 1 and positive MRT. Hang on. Let me find the data. What kind of data? May nahiwalay ako na data on this eh. Um, hmm, later na lang siguro. It's another slide. But I can go to the next one. Sige. So what do we have here? Same barangay or same and data from municipality of Marilao. So we can be consistent. Look at the data. We can linger a little bit. So ano yung sinabi ko kanina? That basic employment equals total of employment in economic activities. Okay, equal is greater than 1. Now, if we, asan na yan? Wala yung, here, okay. So you can interpret actually this in plain language that for example, if we produce 1.27, 1.91, and so forth and so on. When we obtain, nakilagay dito, when we obtain 5, so what do we mean by that? For example, if Marilao, sige magawa ako ng ano. If Marilao has 37,000 total jobs, no? Total jobs. Total jobs. Then, if we have 10,000 basic jobs in manufacturing, trade, and other sectors. So, when we get the multiplier, okay, multiplier equals, so nakita ninyo yung total employment versus basic employment. So, we just simply divide 37,000 divided by 10,000 na basic jobs. So, we can get 3.7 as multiplier. Okay. So, you can interpret this in plain language that every one basic job, okay, supports about how many additional non-basic jobs in Marilao. That when an export-oriented firms hires, for example, 100 more workers, you can expect roughly 370 total jobs in the municipality, including new jobs in services, retail, transport, and other supporting activities. So, but here we are talking about because it helps planners roughly estimate the employment impact of gaining or losing a major firm. So if an industrial locator plans to invest, so, di ba, we say locator pag may mag-i-invest, ano, especially in the context of economic zone, for example. So, if there's a foreign company, for example, we call them locators. So if an industrial locator plans to invest and creates 500 basic jobs with a multiplier of 3, that can translate into about 1,500 jobs in total. So a strong argument when negotiating incentives or infrastructure support. It does not mean absolute yung multiplier, but it gives us a picture. It clarifies to us that while non-basic sectors are visible and politically important, their size is largely determined by the strength of the basic sectors. So without enough export-oriented activities bringing in income, local services cannot expand and they cannot expand sustainably. So it is trying to tell us that it's important to have basic jobs. Basic jobs means these are the jobs that have an LQ equal or it's which is more than one. Kasi for each single basic job that it produces, it impacts on the locality. Meron siyang multiplier effect. That's why it's called multiplier. Nagti-trickle down siya or meron siyang nata-translate siya into additional local jobs na hindi basic, which we call non-basic. Okay, so uh, the definition of basic is export in this particular context. Um, so here, economic base, or so if a barangay has a multiplier, for example, of 2, saan yung 2 dito? It means that, kasi hindi naman natin, no, so, ito na lang. When basic employment increases by 1, halimbawa, multiplier equals 5, ano? And then, when basic employment increases by 1, approximately 5 new jobs are created in the barangay. And when basic employment increases by 2, and so you multiply it be, it's giving you approximately 10 new jobs created in the barangay. So kasi dalawa yung ano dito dalawang economic space. We're talking about two economic spaces here, the one you are exporting and the one that gives you that secures the locality, meaning that you are not exporting. It's just enough, or it is enough to supply, or the sufficiency issue there is responded to because it means that it's enough for the locality. Okay. But I have a separate, madami tayong pwedeng exercise on economic based multiplier. I've been looking pero later na lang. Idiretso ko muna sa overview. So, you know already what it means by multiplier. So, nakita ninyo 1.27, 1.51, ay 1.91, and then 1.51. So, it means that here, basic employment already supports a wider web of local services and supporting activities. So if an industrial or commercial firm expands in these barangays, you can expect more noticeable job creation in non-basic. Ibig sabihin yung hindi ina-export, like for example, yung mga sari-sari store, mga repair shops, and even in transportation like tricycle, mga ganun. So mag-increase eateries, yung mga smaller than like pwede mga eateries, karinderya, ganun and it all increases. May effect syempre yun, di ba? So even without me telling you, you already know how it should impact the locality, yung ina-analyze natin na locality. Now, especially so halimbawa, Loma, asan yung Loma de Gato? 2.2. And poblasyon, mga poblasyon. Ay, patubig pala yan. First poblasyon. Pero pinakamalaki yung Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa 1. So, ang ibig sabihin, if you get 2.0, you cannot really yung fraction niya, just round it off to 2.02 naman is, you cannot say 3 yan, even the 2.43. So 2. So it means that one basic jobs gives rise to roughly um, two or more total jobs, indicating a denser local economy with many linkages. Well, that's what it means. So the higher multipliers, yeah, there are about, so the higher it gets, the higher should be the translation into local jobs. So Santa Rosa here has a highly service dependent local economy where export or base activities strongly stimulate trade, for example, personal services and other local businesses. So, but higher or a high multiplier does not automatically mean a big economy. It may also mean that the barangay has a small basic sector but a large dependent service sector. So for planning, we need both the multiplier and the size of basic employment. Again, basic employment means export driven. Okay? So a barangay with a large number of basic jobs and a reasonably high multiplier is a true growth center. A barangay with a very high multiplier but only a few base jobs may be vulnerable. If one or two key establishments close, many dependent jobs could disappear. Okay? So we go to the analysis of, so this is the third tool, di ba kanina? LQ and then economic base multiplier. Lumabas kasi sa sa board exam, so what it means, pero hindi computation. But nung araw, you they give you table and then you need to solve the multiplier. Even for LQ, you need to solve the LQs nung araw but this time, definition of terms, pero you need to analyze. You need to analyze because you cannot answer it correctly if you did not understand the concept, okay, of these tools. Alam mo ba kung ano yung ipoproduce ng LQ? So, what do you achieve there? What is the goal? Why we need to solve LQ? And what is the goal? Why we need to solve economic-based analysis? Basta, economic-based analysis is to multiplier, whereby you determine how it should impact the local jobs. But it's totally dependent on the basic jobs. So for every one basic job you create, the multiplier provides for the number of jobs that it may create in the basics, in the non-basic. Okay? Kapag local service ang tawag, sometimes books would provide a terminology which is local service. Local service means non-basic. Okay? Now, pag dito naman sa shift share analysis, it is actually when you analyze employment share, using the share and shift, or I call that, when I was with SARP, I call that shift share, and my professors then call it shift share analysis. So what is shift share analysis? We are analyzing how employment by sector changed over time. So it compares the number and % share of jobs in the primary, secondary, tertiary. So tertiary sectors in 1980 and 1990, then compute the shift and in percentage points. So ito. For 1980, there were 40 workers in the primary sector, 16 in secondary, and 19 in the tertiary sector for a total of 75%. And then, 75 workers pala. Okay? When you get so in percentage term, that means 53.3, 21.3. It should total to at least 100, ano? And then 25.3. So how do you get that? 40 divided by 75 equals 53.3. 16 divided by 75 because you need to divide that by the total. Then you get 21.3, and then 19 divided by 75 is 25.3. Then at least you need to have total of at least 100. And you do the same thing for the given period. So we have data for 1980 and 1990. So you get this share. Okay. So we need to compare, we need to show the difference in shares between 1990 and 1980. So when you get, I'll clean. Okay. So we need to compare this now, 53.3 and 41.25. And because it decreased, and then it decreased in 1990, so you need to carry the symbol, the negative sign there. So it means it decreased by 12.05%. So you do the same thing for this because it has increased from 21.3 to 27.5. It has increased so it's a positive 6.2. Okay. Then 25.3 to 31, so it has increased by 5.95%. So the dropping there in the primary sector share does not mean agriculture is unimportant because, di ba, what are again the primary subsectors, di ba, yung agriculture, fisheries, ganun, forestry. So it means that the primary sector share does not mean agriculture is unimportant. Rather, it means that relative to the whole economy, it's no longer the dominant source of jobs. And that planning must therefore handle the transition of rural workers, supporting higher value agriculture on remaining farmlands while also facilitating access to non-farm employment in industry and services. So we need to remember when we're taking the board exam that shift share analysis or share and shift analysis is about tracking how the proportion of employment in each sector changes over time. That's why shift, di ba? Shift. And that percentage point changes, not the percent growth rates, but the changes. So they reveal the direction of structural change in the local economy. And so in your narrative, when you're preparing your CLUP or your CDP, then you need to put a deeper analysis there. And you can use this one, the shift share analysis. Okay. But of course, your narrative should explain more and deeper, and you can look into your historical data. Okay. So for the hierarchy of settlements, we have this pero wala namang colored. Pero siguro kasi because we are now into digital EPLE. Your licensure is now in digital, siguro may colored na, no? So probably they can also give a table like this. So I'm sure nabasa nyo na, no? Because we already gave the slides last night. So green means establishments classified under the primary sector. Ito, yung dark green, ano? Then the red ones are establishments classified under the secondary sector. And the blue one are establishments classified under the tertiary sector. So without being so, even without analyzing it, makikita mo that the madaming establishments classified under the tertiary sector because of the widespread yung blue. And then 0 means absence of establishment in a barangay, and 1 presence of establishment in a barangay. Okay. Now still, but this one we are now using scaleogram showing centrality of barangays. Okay, still in the municipality of Manila for consistency purposes. So okay, if you look at the bottom row, so these are the totals, okay? 22, 20, 8, 7, 5, 5, okay. Now, the highest is Ibayo and Abangan Sur. Okay, remember the barangays. 22, 20. So obviously, sila yung madaming establishments. Now, to a total of 230 when we combine all of this. So what the scaleogram does is to translate the presence or absence of services into a simple picture of centrality. Barangays with many types of establishments sit higher in the hierarchy of settlements. Barangays with few activities sit lower in the hierarchy and form part of the hinterland of the larger center. So hinterland outside the center, diba? So from a planning point of view, this helps the LGU decide where to, number one, where to strengthen growth centers by improving infrastructure and urban services. And number two, ensure that lower order barangays still have reasonable access to essential facilities, either by upgrading a few key services there or by improving connectivity to the higher order centers. So it should bring you back to that theory, central place theory by Walter Christoller. Diba? Central place theory. So, you see, napapakinabangan natin yung mga theories natin. So, the important idea is that a hierarchy of settlements is not, we are not just dealing about population size, it's also key to to check into the range and level of functions and services offered. And a scaleogram is one practical tool to make that hierarchy visible for the planner. So now, if we look into how these basic steps in applying the tool so there's a need to construct a worksheet in ganon, with placing settlements horizontally and economic activity vertically. Each cell in the matrix represent an economic activity or business establishment that appears in a given planning area. Then obtain the number of economic, diba? Magbarangay kayo and then obtain the number of economic establishments or urban functions in a given area, and then arrange the frequencies of business establishments from highest to lowest by functional type and by community or barangay. So, and then total each row and column. So, that easy. And then, compute the weights of location coefficient. So, wala pa tayong competition dito. So, compute the weights or, remember, weights means location coefficients for each functional category using the formula. So, later yung binigay ko na table, we will mag-shift ako mamaya doon. But let me continue first with this. You can see, so there's Roman numeral 1. Can you see, anong barangay? Diba? Loma de Gato? 1. And then, nandito din yung, hindi ko kasi makita yun. Ano itong next, diba? So, it means na itong mga Roman numeral 1, they are first order central place, and then 2, they are second order, and then 3, so na-decrease din yung size ng circle, di ba? And there's color coding. Correct? So, what we did earlier with the scaleogram and the centrality index ba yan? Wala scaleogram. Okay, wala pang centrality index, but I need to shift. But anyway, shift ko muna, no? So I'll close this one so I can show the one that I gave you earlier. Okay, stop ko muna and then we'll shift to. This is where we need, before this map. Share screen. Start. Okay. We go to this sample. This is the centrality index data. Okay. Before we can go into that map kanina, we need to compute the centrality index. Kasi we've been talking about centrality index, but so this is the table 1, number of establishments, okay, by barangay and by economic activity. So ito yung barangay. And then economic activity ito. Then still, the example is Municipality of Marilao in 2006. Okay. Now, ito yung mga data for wholesale and retail trade, restaurants and hotels. So for Abangan Norte, it means there are 101 establishments. And then next, and the next. And then for transport, storage, and communication, 2 daw for Abangan. And then manufacturing, 7. Community, social, recreational, and personal services, 40, and so forth, and so on. Now, if you compute this one horizontally, then you get this one. So it means the combination for Abangan Norte in all economic activities is 158. But if we get the total for wholesale and retail for each activity, then we get this 1,261. This one. Okay. Now, you need just to total this one also, or vertically. So that's the first goal in table 1. So you were able to obtain all these totals, 126, then for each economic activity. So it means mining and quarrying, wala. Pero sa Sibugay, di ba? Madami. Di ba? Sinabi kanina ni MPDC natin. Okay. So, yun lang naman yung 0 lahat. So, 56, 4, 16, 4. Okay. Then, total of 1. Okay. Ay, ito pala yung total ng Now, that's the first goal. Kuhanin muna natin yung total. Then, the second table, you need to arrange from lowest to highest totals. So, it means that for Ibayo, siya yung pinakamadami yung establishments, Ibayo, 455, followed by Loma de Gato, 211. And then yung pinaka-last is Nagbalon, 26. So, you need to arrange this. So, kanina, ang first dito, Abangan Norte. But, of course, Ibayo, when you arrange that, should be according to the highest number of establishments, no? Total. And that's why, nagbago yung arrangement dito. Here. Okay? So, does not follow. Just sa total lang naman na baguhin. So, you still carry in this particular table, you need to carry the total number of functions. So, nandyan pa rin siya lahat. So, carry mo yan. You just arrange it naman, di ba? You just arrange from highest to lowest. Now, total centrality by the symbol T, small t, should be 100. Lahat 100 yan, total centrality. So, that's a given. Given. Ito 100 dapat ito. Sorry, 100. So, and then you try to remember, weight means location coefficient. So there's the formula, small t divided by big T there. Okay. And so how do you obtain this? 100. Okay. 100 divided by, di ba? Yung weight niya. Kaya ba yan? Mag-compute nga kayo. Okay, if you should always have calculator with you, no? Diba? 0.079? Okay. So, lahat yan, you need to divide 100 by the total. So, you obtain these values. Ito lahat. Okay? Ito lahat. So, ilagay mo na doon. Carry mo doon. You need to write. So, any value multiplied by 0. Okay. Ita-transfer mo. So, that's the goal. We need to compute the weight. Okay, so that's why the title there is Calculated Weights or Location Coefficients of Urban Functions in the Municipality of Marilao. Can you unmute? Can you mute first? Merong, Jen, paki-mute sila. Jen. Okay. Alright. So, we go to table 3. So, ano yung una? Get the totals and then get the weight. T over T. Okay? With given of a value of 100 for the total centrality index, just divide 100 divided by the total. And you get all those values below representing the calculated weights or the location coefficient. Then, for table 3, you still carry Ibayo as the first one, ano? And multiply yung 26.22, okay? Multiply 0.07, kasi yun yung nakuha mong weight. So, all those weights, 0.079 times 332. 332 equals 26.22 or 0.22. 0.23 ba yun? It should be 26.23, ano? Pero okay lang yan, 26.22. So, lahat ng values doon, all these values that you have obtained here should be multiplied by each of the values here. Multiply mo lahat dyan. And then you replace those values. Okay? So, magbabago lahat yan here. So, okay na tayo dito, no? Now, this is what you call the centrality index. So, one value is the centrality index or plural centrality indices of barangays. Okay? So, we already have all this one. Then, to check whether the values are correct, it should be total to 100. Diba? Yun yung centrality natin, 100. So, all the values here should total. You should obtain a summation equals 100. 100, 100, 100, 100. So, now we have this centrality index. So, why 1, 2, 3, and 4? So, meron ba tayong basis dyan? Meron ba tayong ano? Meron ba? Okay. So, how do we, can you get the values there? So, ibig sabihin, ito, Roman numeral 1 and 2, and then 77.29, and then ito. So, and then, bakit hindi na-join yung, ano, di ba? Hindi na-join yung 42.93 in, ano, kasi we have first order. Okay, so these numbers are the centrality index scores of each barangay, and the Roman numerals on the right there are the resulting hierarchy of centers. So, hierarchy ito. So, ito na yung tinatawag nating hierarchy of centers. The resulting hierarchy based on those scores. And so, the centrality index is what we call the service gravity score. The higher the value, the more types of establishments and higher order functions are concentrated in the barangay, and the wider the area that barangay serves. So the values are constructed so that the total for all 16 barangays is what? Is 800. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 100 is 800. Okay, the central indices. So the total for all 60 barangays is 800, which means the average centrality is 50. So, kasi 100 nga, no? 100. So, if you divide that by 2 equals 50. So, that should be the average centrality. So, barangays far above 50 are major service centers. So, saan yung major centers mo? Diba? It could be this and this. Kasi lahat na yung mga iba dito, although 55 is above 50 pa din, but you can cluster 55, 52, 44, 42 into to make it a third order. Because malayo yung 55 sa 68. So, it's up to you to, when you're a planner, it's up to you to group. Okay? The first order, second, third, fourth order. So those far below 50 are minor or local centers. Hindi siya center. Hindi siya yung parang pinaka-main. Because first order means Ito, first order, scores 142.43 to and 128.70. Yeah, these are the two dominant barangays. Remember, Ibayo, Loma de Gato. These are the two dominant barangays in Marilao's system of settlements. Their indices are almost 3 times the municipal average of 50. Kasi 50 yung ano no, yung kuan mo dito. So, 3 times 150. 3 times 50. So, which tells you that they host the widest range of activities, including rare or high order functions such as banking, non-bank, financial intermediaries, the real estate, offices, specialized health, diba? Mayroon tayong diagnostic center, mga ganon, as one of the examples of specialized health. Meron. Then, education, and possibly some manufacturing or industrial establishments. So, residents from almost all other barangays are likely to travel here in the first order center for major shopping, for higher education. Di ba ganun sa probinsya natin? Hospital care. We don't have it in our barangay pag medyo malayo yung barangay natin, di ba? We normally go to the poblacion, mga ganun. Because nandun. So even if you're analyzing a municipality, I remember sa COVID, during COVID-19 pandemic, there were some provinces that they go to another province kasi even in their right there in their provinces, they don't have really a specialized mga health mga hindi walang 'di ba kapag specialized or kapag COVID naman you need to go to a medical center yung mga malalaki because yung mga maliliit na natin normally nagbo-burst na sa dami ng pasyente 'di ba so you bring your patient to the medical centers kasi 500 and up yung hospital beds 'di ba so for the higher order so that's why when we are a planner, we need to look into yung mga natin, where to put or where to establish our primary growth centers, where you expect higher densities, and then where do you locate or propose to locate mixed-use development and priority infrastructure also, like roads, transport terminals, flood control, utilities, etc. Then the second order here, represented by our Roman numeral 2, nandito yung centrality index equal to 77.99 and 68.4. You cannot join this 55 kasi medyo malayo na siya, no? Although pwede rin. But look at the distance, mas malapit siya sa 3. It's more rational or it's more logical to cluster them as one in the third order. Now, for 77.99, anong barangay yun? Abangan Norte, and then Saog. So, second order, so these two barangays are clearly above the municipal average, yung 50, di ba? But, not as dominant as the first order center. So they still offer a relatively broad mix of services and establishments, but usually with fewer high order functions and more emphasis on common services. So I'm thinking about, the Walter, he's a genius, si Walter Christoller. Imagine, he thought about that. Hindi pa kayo pinapanganak, di ba matagal, di ba anong year yon, di ba, yung central place, and he already thought about this thing. So, ano yung mga common services like retail trade? I'm talking about second order center. And then there's transport services, a basic community and personal services, maybe some small banks or remittance outlets, yung mga Palawan, yung mga ganun. Kalimutan ko, ano na dyan yung mga natin, remittance outlets. So, pwede rin may LBC dyan. So, their role is to backstop the first order centers, decongest them, and serve as sub-centers for clusters of nearby barangays. So for the CLUP, would typically reinforce these as secondary service nodes with improved access roads, public transport connections, barangay level facilities like mayroong high school, may health center, may local market, mga ganyan. So, for the third order, medyo madami sila. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, Abangan Sur, Poblacion 2, Lias, Tabing Ilog, okay? Okay. So, third order, these barangays sit around slightly below the average. Di ba? Yung below average natin is 50, but we included 55, which is 5 points or 5 points higher than the average centrality index of 50. But they have a moderate range of functions like sari-sari stores, small groceries, mga mini groceries ba, and then a few eateries or karinderya, then basic repair shops, elementary schools, may chapel siguro, then barangay hall, maybe a clinic. So they serve primarily their own residents and a few adjacent poroks, siguro, while depending on the first and second order centers for more specialized needs. So they tend to travel there to seek for those services. Then for planning, these are your intermediate centers where you ensure adequate barangay level services, but you do not force high order facilities that are more efficiently located in higher ranked centers. So, pag third order, you call it intermediate centers, and for second order centers, you call it secondary service nodes. Then for the first order centers, you call that primary growth centers. Okay? Or if yung makaimbento kayo ng mas magandang terminology, why not? Diba? So, for fourth order, ito na siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 barangays. 8. Okay. For the fourth, these are barangays with low centrality. Their indices are well below the average of 50. And in some cases, almost itong 4.21, ano? So it's so 18.02 and then it jumped way below 4.21. So almost negligible compared with the first order centers. They typically have few establishments and mostly very common low order services, like probably sporadically distributed sari-sari stores or maybe a small karinderya na nga, ano, 'di ba? May small karinderya ba? So, vulcanizing shop or plus basic social infra like elementary school or daycare center. Sometimes wala pa nga, di ba? Walang daycare. So residents of these barangays must travel to higher order centers for most services and employment opportunities. In planning particularly or specifically in spatial planning, these are treated as residential or production hinterlands. We're talking about hinterlands here that need good road and transport links to the higher order centers. Kailangan mo magandang transportation or magandang kalsada rather than as independent service hubs. So why the hierarchy matters? Because the centrality index is additive and sums to 800. So you can see how economic and service functions are distributed across the municipality. 2 barangays alone account for more than 1/3 already of the total centrality, diba? Na 800. Ilan na yun, no? 142 plus 128. So ilan na yun kagad for the 800. So, yeah, because 2 barangays account for more than 1/3 of total centrality, so which confirms the strong primacy. So we're talking about primacy here. of a small number of centers. So this has several implications. Kapag ka ganon, 1/3 kaagad is dalawang barangay lang, then what are the implications? Number one, you can justify prioritizing major infra and urban services in the first and second order centers. So since improvements there will benefit residents across the municipality. So implication yan, but it's not a recommendation or something that you are just talking about implications. Or you can design feeder road networks and public transport routes that link fourth order barangays to the nearest higher order centers. Or you can identify opportunities to upgrade selected 3 or 4 centers here, 3 and 4, okay? Where population is growing fast, so you need to make some observation there based on your data. So it should always be evidence-based so that they gradually take on more functions and relieve pressure on the top 2 barangays. So, yeah, these values here is the quantitative backbone of your hierarchy of settlements. Now, I can now shift back to the yung kanina. Remember yung Ibayo, Loma de Gato, okay? Ibayo, I will stop that. Then I'll proceed to, I'll go back to the kanina. Okay. Di ba kanina, so this is now how you represent your centrality index. Ano kanina yan? Loma de Gato and Ibayo, di ba? So, you see the first order, Ibayo. Loma de Gato, then Ibayo. Okay. So, all those that you have seen na 1, 2, 3, 4, yun na yung representation ng natin ng centrality index. So, that's the graphical now in the map representation, because this is now the hierarchy of settlement actually in the municipality of Marilao in 2006. So what we did earlier with the kilogram and the centrality index is now translated into a map. So each colored circle here on the map represents a barangay, and the Roman numeral inside the circle shows its order in the settlement hierarchy. So, orange, okay, kita mo naman ninyo, no? So, we change and then there are different sizes also of the hierarchy to show na ito yung pinakamadaming establishments. So these are the barangays with the highest centrality scores. So they host the widest range of services and higher order functions such as banks, kanina yung nasabi ko, tertiary schools, hospitals, major retail, and government offices. So in practical terms, they function as the municipality's main urban centers and serve not only their own residents but also people coming from other barangays. So if you notice, it's binodal, okay? Hindi lang isa yung ano, you are seeing 2 nodes here, center, 2 centers. So it's a binodal approach of development, di ba? So the second order here, ito rin, second order. Then the third order, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then yung mga small scattered, but they were mostly grouped here. So ano yung indication na that at the center is being serviced by this one, diba? So as if it has its own center because dalawa, no? Dalawa. Here also, I think Marilao is doing okay. 2006 siguro, ngayon mas maganda na yung because meron pa ring fourth order here, meron din dito. But ang katabi pa rin niya itong isang center from Ibayo. So as if kapag we talk about spillover, then it can still catch yung trickling effect pa rin of development from Ibayo would still flow to 4 here. Okay. Then meron pa rin yung 2 dito. So 2. Still, I think it's strategic. The growth center, the centers are strategically located, yung Ibayo and Loma de Gato. So, as planners, we use this map to understand how people move and where they go for services. So, residents of four order barangays will typically travel to the nearest second or first order center for the services like banking, higher education, ganun. So, hospital care, lalo na hospital care because it's lalo na pag emergency, right? So this has direct implications for land use zoning, also to road network planning and investment programming. For example, if a first order center is already congested, so what do you do as a planner? Of course, your goal there is when it's congested, but yeah, if first order center is already congested but still carries most of the higher order functions, so the LGU may decide to strengthen a second order center so that some services can be decentralized. Likewise, when we talk of local economic development strategies, we can identify which barangays are good candidates for new investments, for higher order facilities or transport terminals based on their position in the hierarchy or in this hierarchy. Okay? But, hierarchy should be evidence-based. So it should not come from politics, no? Parang pinipili lang or intuition. So it's the result of counting actual establishments, scoring them using the scaleogram, and then mapping the centrality scores. It's a powerful way to justify why certain barangays are designated as growth centers or as service centers or support settlements. Okay, so after this is because this is the hierarchy, then we can already see this one. Like Loma de Gato, if you can look at residential there, that nakita mo na yung why it's high first order. Diba? First order settlement. Kita mo na? And then Ibayo. Okay. Mostly commercial also. Commercial. Here residential. So I hope you appreciated the transition of the tools through to the maps, to the centrality index, through to the hierarchy, and then this is now the general land use plan of Marilao, Bulacan. Everything we have been discussing, the hierarchy, location, causes, employment structure, poverty, income, centrality of barangay. So all of that analysis is supposed to end here in a spatial strategy because the general land use plan shows how the municipality intends to allocate its limited land among competing uses while protecting key environmental assets and supporting local economic development. So you need to look into the protected and agricultural areas, and then you need also to point out where the production areas should be located, and so the industrial zones, commercial areas, tourism, orange, di ba? Dapat alam din ninyo yung mga color coding because hindi yan nawawala sa board exam. Like for example, orange or brown for tourism and recreation and other production activities. So while some areas here, so it also platted fish ponds. Ito, fish ponds ba yan? So you will also notice that most industrial and commercial uses are clustered along the main national road and in or near the higher order centers. So I think that's deliberate because the idea is to place land intensive and traffic generating activities where there's already good access, public transport and higher order services. So instead of scattering them into peripheral barangays that have weak road networks and fewer facilities. So yellow areas, there are the residential or settlement zones. Again, these are not randomly distributed. Higher density housing is generally located close to employment centers. Kita mo yan. Institutional uses and along major transport corridors, while lower density residential enclaves are pushed farther away from the industrial clusters also, and the flood-prone or environmentally sensitive areas. The blue, another special symbol show is social infrastructure. What are these? Schools, institutional uses, cemeteries, recreational areas, and I think there's the control dam site. Let me see. Yeah, control dam site. And the black and red lines there indicate the transportation network, distinguishing existing roads from proposed new links or road widening. So when you overlay this general land use map with the centrality map, you can see how certain barangays are being reinforced as first and second order centers by concentrating civic, commercial, and transport functions there. So, yeah. Now, I think I need to close by saying that if an area is environmentally fragile or important for agriculture and food security, the general land use plan protects it by limiting urban uses. So this map is a spatial expression of the LGU's development strategy and is the main reference for zoning, investment programming, and permits for many years because this is 9 to 10 years plan. Okay, so let me end there. Okay, I hope you learned something from this. Jen, take it away.